his kickers, not to mention, you got some great insight. Crickets.
It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
10 seconds to stop. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Guys, holy we are a resilient team, gentlemen. We are resilient. We're going to find a way to win. They freaking came out and they fought us, but we fought harder. And we went and got the win. That's outstanding. That's division win number 2. I got one game ball. All right, and to make the rally that we did and to come back, man, we needed some stops. We get the stops. Offense, we go down, we strike. We need another stop, we get the stop. Hutch, where you at, brother?
I'm so proud of everybody, man. We got this shit done. Man, I'm really excited about this year. I think we're going to do some special shit, especially with the adversity we just dealt with, how we overcame it, man. So to keep pushing week by week. Let's go. Yes, win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Hey, let's go. Monday show, November 20th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, everybody in YouTube land. Hit that like button for us. Less than 100 subscribers away from hitting 56,000 subscribers on this platform, so thank you for that. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you on a Victory Monday.
Good afternoon, Victory Monday. Feeling good. I actually went to the lab this morning with Berkeley and worked out in the dungeon, so I'm safe to say I survived. Rocking some of his gear to a beast now. Shout out to my brother. Love you. Good weekend for me. Nice to chill with the family, and obviously, as you see, man, this is the week, and we'll wait to start the week with another win over Ohio State. Aiden Hutchinson getting the sack on Justin Fields to win the game. So Michigan starting it off right, baby.
That's the right way to do it. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, fellas. Good to be here with you on, well, it's a little chilly out there, but it's a fall day. We'll take it. What a great day yesterday was. I mean, that was amazing. That was the best win of the year, if you ask me. And Michigan, we kind of knew what they were going to do at Maryland. They got through it. We'll see what happens on Saturday. Let's go.
No doubt about it. We'll talk to John U. Bacon coming up top of hour number 2, and we'll get the latest on what's happening with the University of Michigan and look ahead to the game against Ohio State. But we will start, obviously, guys, with one of the most miraculous games you will ever see, or maybe you didn't see it. I talked to a couple of people who actually left when the Bears kicked that last field goal and took a 12-point lead with 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game.
After the Justin Fields dance?
Absolutely. No doubt. So what an incredible comeback. And I think what Dan Campbell did in the locker room there, that kind of howl, that release of holy crap, man, it just speaks to how, to use his word, resilient this football team is. On a day where you play probably your worst game of the year, sans the Baltimore Ravens game, you stick around and stick around and stick around, and in the end, you have a chance, Braylon, and you complete the comeback, and you win really a game that you had no business winning. Every number, every statistic went against them, except the one that counts, and that's they got the win.
The biggest word that you used in that sentence was win. They got the win. They got the W. They're now 8-2. They're moving on. They haven't been 8-2 since 1962. We'll get into all that.
I was born that year.
Right. And it's a hell of a year, by the way.
Think about that.
A hell of a year. We got our guy Maz in the building or in the world. Look, they won. They're 8-2, and they still have everything in front of them. But let's just talk about it in this sense. It's the NFL, Ryan. And when you get to that mountaintop, they're not quite there, but they're close. Number 2 seed in the NFC, Ryan, you're going to get everybody's best shot. This is no longer the Lions that are a bad team. People stumble in, they're going to beat the Lions, et cetera, et cetera. People are looking to give you their best shot. You're going to get the best of the quarterback. This is one of Justin Fields' best games until the end. You're going to get the best out of the coaches. You're going to get the best out of the defense. You are going to get everybody's best shot. And sometimes you just got to win games, and that's what they did. We'll get into the particulars of where they did wrong, etc. But what they did right is they stuck with this game. They won in a game in which a lot of players had their worst game. They, at the end, were right there to make it happen. They didn't focus on what happened in the first half. They didn't focus on what happened in the third quarter. Hell, they didn't focus on what happened at the start of the fourth quarter. They focused on what happened at the end. They got the W, and they lived to fight another day. So the resiliency in that how is definitely warranted. It's definitely deserved. It's the NFL. It doesn't get any easier from now on. So to get that win in the division, it's a big win. No matter how you slice it, it is a win.
You know, if they go 9-2, and I think they will, it'll be the first time since 1930 that this franchise has been 9-2. 1930.
I think, Maz, in 1962 they went 11-2.
Okay.
But your point is well taken. They have
it's amazing.
and are doing things that we haven't seen in our lifetime. Just look, just alone
Shoot, your parents' lifetime.
at the win against the Bears, Maz, Bray.
Yeah.
The win against the Bears is the Lions' 7th straight divisional win.
Beautiful.
That's the first time they've done that since the merger, the NFL-AFL merger in 1970. They have never won 7 division games, and we anticipate in a row. And we anticipate, we hope, we believe they're the better team. They will beat Jordan Love and the Packers to make it 8 in a row on Thursday.
They're gonna lay at the smackdown.
And again, when you haven't won your division in 30 years, just start there. You are tasked with being better than the 3 other teams in your division, or before the NFL went to 32 teams and broke up into these 8 divisions, there was 5 teams in your division. If you can't beat your divisional opponents, if you aren't built to beat your divisional opponents, chances are you're not a good football team. Last year was a mirage. I don't have the numbers on this, but I can't imagine there's too many teams that have gone 5-1 in division play and not won that division that particular year.
Yep.
That's what happened to Detroit last year.
That's Lion-esque.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most Lions thing ever.
Yeah.
To go 5-1 in any particular year against divisional opponents and not win the division.
And go 8-2 down a stretch.
It's also about the pressure that's been up on them and that's been tasked in front of them. Like, usually when a team is trying to win the division for the first time in 30 years, like, the team, the fan base doesn't have dreams of NFC Championship or bust or making it to the Super Bowl. They're like, shoot, we just want to get this win. We want to win the division, and we'll see what happens from there. Based on how the Lions finished last season, about what you start seeing kind of come into fruition and come into place, everybody in the city going to the season knew the Lions should win the division. The Lions had a chance to get to home games in the playoffs. The Lions had an outside shot to get to the NFC Championship game. Now it's not so much of an outside shot. So the fact that they've had all this pressure on them without even winning a division before says a lot about them staying the course, says a lot about them being resilient, says a lot about them going on the road and scoring as many touchdowns necessary to beat the Los Angeles Chargers last week. It says something about being at home and kind of falling asleep at the wheel and waking up in the fourth quarter and getting the win, no matter how they got it. Says a lot about these guys that had that resiliency with all the pressure on them. Because you can't tell me there's not pressure on this Detroit Lions team put there by the fan base, but rightfully so.
And you talk about that pressure, Braylon. I mean, the amount of pressure to play what many people believe is an inferior team, and they'll do it again this week. And you know what was going to be posted on social media sites all over the place if they lost a home game
SOL.
to the Chicago Bears when you were a 7.5-point favorite.
During the watch party yesterday, people were like, oh, this is same old Lions. What a crap team. This team won't make the playoffs. You should have seen the chat during our live watch party.
I mean, there were even boo-birds in Ford Field yesterday. Yeah. I forget what the play was. I think it was when they were down. The first play of the JMO touchdown drive was in, they get the ball with 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go, and they turn around, hand it off to David Montgomery up the middle. Crowd starts booing.
Even I said, they're establishing the run now.
but that speaks to this almost almost, and I say almost because I think having expectations and being excited and putting the bar up here is really part of the fun of it. But it's almost a realistic expectation for this team. The Detroit Lions are not going 15-2. They're just not. They're going to lose one along the way here. I don't know who that's to, or maybe they'll even lose two, or I hate to say it, maybe even three. We just don't know.
They won't.
I don't think they'll lose three.
No,
but
they won't.
Let's say they lose. I mean, there's almost this unhealthy elite expectation, almost unattainable expectation for this football
But that's
team.
the way we think, Ryan. But the Philadelphia fans don't think that way. The 49ers and Cowboy fans don't think that way. It's us because we've been beaten to death for 60-plus years.
Yeah, and it's very true. And I mean, the fan bases that you just named, they've seen a Super
Correct.
Bowl. They've seen him win a Super Bowl. They've seen this. The Cowboys, I mean, they've seen consistent wins in the regular season over the last 10 years or so. So the Lions haven't shown that. But with that being said, I got to take a step back, and because we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of, how this game got to where it got to and what they need to get better at. But Ryan, you talked about this last week, and Maz, you talk about this too. They seem like they can win different types of games.
Anyway.
They seem like they can win any type of game. Like, I don't care the Chicago Bears were a certain type of team before the game started. I don't care that the spread was 7.5 and they should have blown them out. They got down by 12. With not a lot of time not a lot of time to make some plays. People left the game. People started talking boo words, and they found a way to win. Last week they had to go to a track meet with the Los Angeles Chargers, who have some damn good players on that offense. They won a track meet. Baltimore, you can say, hey, everybody has a dud. Their guys out. Blah blah blah. They can win different types of games, and it's only going to prepare them for the playoffs. You still got 7 games left of the season, 7 winnable games, and 7 more personalities that you got to see. I think they're only going to get better moving forward, man. I mean, I believe that about this team.
I think the one thing about this team that I used to care about that I no longer care about, not so much this team but this franchise, you always wanted them to win a certain way.
Yeah.
Well, I want them to look good. I want them to blow everybody out. I want them to look good. They didn't look good yesterday, but they won. And now I don't care how they look. I prefer they look better, obviously. I prefer they don't turn the ball over 4 times. But, yeah, it doesn't matter. It still counts as a win. Now, when you do that against better teams, there's no way you can do that.
Lose.
And the turnovers have been a problem. They just have been. But the Lions are overcoming that because of how good this football team is. Guys, we're going to take you inside the locker room. You'll hear more from the players, from Dan Campbell. It was an incredible win yesterday. Aiden Hutchinson coming up with a sack, fumble, safety that ended the game, essentially.
And a punt. And a hell of a punt,
Absolutely.
by the way.
Drop kicked that into the stands.
He used that old lineman like a rag doll.
Absolutely. We'll get to that next. Guys, on Lions Monday, John U. Bacon coming up at 3 o'clock, top of hour number 2. But first, a message from Dispo.
That's right. Dispo Romeo now open till midnight. Michigan's largest cannabis mall. 21 and up you have to be, and it's recreational only. But outside of that, it is the best place to come. I promise you that. You walk in, you're like a kid in a candy store. Best ways to consume your product, whether it's flour, whether it's oil, they have it all. And also, best customer service. They're the best people, nicest people. Come in. We got what you need, man. Dispo Romeo, open till midnight.
Great job, guys.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this crisis. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
For audio, jack, the whole thing, wiring. Oh, you look too far, nope. All right, yeah. No.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Real estate flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty at all? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates is offering. It's called their minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Oh, very good. Hold on, gang. Here you go, DC.
It's a hell of a job by the guys hanging in there.
My bad, I was thinking about the
Bears. They did a good job. They came out and as we thought they would. They put in a good fight. They do it every week, and that team fought hard. And we turned the ball over 4 times, and that's a hard way to live there, man. It's hard to get out of that hole. So, I was proud of the guys and the coaches. Nobody got frazzled. We knew if we could just get the ball back in our court, we get a stop, score. We could get some momentum back. But, man, that's what I was proud of. Pressure went up. Our heart rate leveled out like we talk about. So it's a great job by a number of guys. Really, the whole team had a part in that.
Yeah, guys, absolutely. Dan Campbell after the win yesterday. And I think that's one of the places I want to go to real quick. Well, not real quick, but talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's Jared Goff. Okay, so when the game just looked like it got away from him. And by the way, he should have thrown a 4th interception that would have gone for a pick 6 at the goal line.
So that was horrible.
In and out of the hands, incredible. Every now and again, if you're going to come back and win a game like that,
shouldn't even run the play.
You need to have some luck, and that was one of those plays that the Lions got a little luck. But I say that to say, Bray, who cares what happened in the first 3.5 quarters of the game? This is the position you're in now, and for your quarterback to kind of go out there and play like a closer that just gave up a homer. My goodness, man. You got to give him a lot of credit for the way they battled, and he battled specifically yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. No, we can sit here and talk about the interceptions because they're unacceptable, especially when you get the chance to play against a team like the 49ers, the Eagles, the list goes on, the Cowboys, hell, the Seattle Seahawks. We'll see. You can't turn the ball over 3 times. With that being said, once you turn the ball over, Ryan, once you have a play, and in his case it was 3, once you have 3 plays, what type of person are you? Like, where does your mind go? Like, how strong are you mentally to be able to block those out and realize, hey, you know what, we're still playing for something. Game's still on the line. I got to get myself together. The team is depending on me. The team is counting on me to go down there and get a drive. And I think the first time you kind of saw it was at the end of the half. Like, they looked abysmal in the first half. Is that fair to say, man?
Well, until they did score at the end of the half.
I was taking you there. I was saying they looked abysmal. And then the last drive of the game, what happens? Jared Goff goes down the field and throws one of the smartest plays I've seen this year. He threw the ball extremely low. The only person that was going to catch it was either the ground or Amon-Ra St. Brown. They scored a touchdown. Looks completely different at the half. Then at the end of the game, once again, after now 2 more situations where you're like, damn, this is just going to be that game that the Lions revert back to. Jared Goff was able to find that mental fortitude and then last the test of time and get those guys down there, obviously with help from Ben Johnson and the rest of the team. So Jared Goff, you got to give him a lot of credit because we're talking about what could have happened. We're not talking about what happened. What happened was they won. Jared Goff found a way to find himself in that moment and be the leader that we've been talking about, the guy that you can win games because of, not just with. So got to give them a lot of credit. They got to fix a lot of things. But they won, Ryan and mine. We're sitting here talking about how to fix a win. That's always a better place than how to fix a loss. So I'll take it every day of the week. Pause.
I was a little bit disappointed with the way Ben Johnson was calling that game. After they scored the second touchdown to take the lead at the end of the first half, they're getting the ball back in the third quarter again. What's been this team's? You're not actually cold, hot, are you? It's like 60 degrees in there. It's 40 outside. Okay, I digress. I guess I'm just cold. Anyway, they get the ball back in the third quarter, and they crap on themselves again. They get to the midfield. It's 3rd and 1. They're in a shotgun, which I didn't like. And they get sacked. They had to punt it. They suck in the third quarter, continually suck in the third quarter. And if you do that and continue to do it, You're not winning just playing 3 quarters of football.
Yeah.
So they got to figure something out what they're doing coming out of the half.
Outscored 10-0 in that third quarter. Their 3 possessions in the third quarter: punt, fumble, pick.
Yeah.
You got to be
Terrible.
better than that.
Terrible.
Can't win like that.
Got to be better than that. Can't win like that. But back to Goff for a second. This guy, look, if they lost that game,
It's a different conversation.
he would have been the first, second, and third topic today. Jared Goff.
Yeah.
You know, the
Still first and second.
That was a part of me that wanted to see Teddy Bridgewater yesterday. For a second. I was joking.
See,
I was on the.
That's the same old Lions
I know.
mentality. You gotta
I
get out
know.
of that.
I had to
man.
slap myself. I
I
did.
appreciate that. I appreciate it.
But yeah, man, I give the guy a ton of credit for staying in that game and making the plays in the end. Remember Gunther Cunningham?
Of course.
Yeah,
The
of
old
course.
Kansas City Chiefs head coach who was the defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
He was the defensive coordinator here years ago. I was covering a practice one time back when I used to do that thing, and he was talking about how when he was with the Chiefs, he had a very young team, and he would say you'd show up on Sunday and you'd be beating somebody for the first 3 quarters of the game. And then the team that they were playing, they had a bunch of veterans on their team, a bunch of great players. And then they look at my guys and say, okay, the fourth quarter's here. Now, son, it's time to kick your ass. And it's just, it's the way, I feel like that was the Lions yesterday. You know what I mean? It's like the first 3 quarters fine. And then the fourth quarter comes and it's like, okay, son, now it's time to kick your ass.
Actually, they waited an extra 11 minutes.
Right,
Yeah.
into the fourth. But you get the picture, man. The winning teams do winning things at the end of the game. Losing teams do losing things at the end of the game. And again, if you're going to win a game like that, you need a lot of luck.
Yeah.
First piece of luck came when the defensive back dropped the pick 6 back the other way. Would have been the second piece, really, to me, is Matt Eberflus.
Yes.
Matt Eberflus blew that game.
How does he have a job right now?
He won't at the end of the year.
For the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Blew the game when you because the Lions, that JMO touchdown, I mean, that really left everything in front of them. They still had 3 timeouts. They had the 2-minute warning. So they could have even probably given up a first down and still had time to get the ball back.
Yeah.
Not great, but they would have given themselves a chance. But to go run up the middle, bomb on your 3 plays?
Well, they thought they'd catch him with their pants down. Well, not well. It was terrible.
They did. And that was another piece of luck that Fields overthrew.
Yeah, he overthrew him.
No. You're absolutely correct. It just wasn't Fields. The wide receiver slowed down to track the ball. He slowed down, tracked the ball for a second, and then tried to put the Jets back on. When you're running at that clip, you can't stop and start that fast because the ball's already got that trajectory. If he never slows down to track the ball,
it's over.
That's why they never teach you to look back to track the ball. You always keep it right. You look, the ball's supposed to land here. If he doesn't do that, it's a touchdown. It kind of reminds me of Michigan 2013 with Braxton Miller. But with that being said, they got to change some things. Because at the end of the day, they did get the win. They are a winning team. That's why they won. That's why Eberflus. That's why the thing happened. That's why it fell out for you. And you capitalized. You said, hey, we're still here. We're here for a reason. Let's get serious. And I think that's more to align with what you're talking about in terms of getting serious when the moment allows. They definitely were all hands on deck, and they were involved in that last drive. But we can't have it like that when you play against winning teams.
Hey, before, Maz, we get to you, we were just talking about Goff for a second. I wanted to play what Dan Campbell had to say about his quarterback's resilience after this one.
I think it speaks volumes. You know, he doesn't have his best game, but it's really when you needed him most in a 2-minute drive at the end of half. That was pretty big. And then at the end of the game, down 2 scores. That's when he's at his best in a game that he's not playing his best game. I think that speaks volumes. So here's what we know about Goff. At the very least, he's going to be mentally tough and physically tough. And you can always count on that. You can bank on that. And today, he showed his resiliency, you know. And when we needed those plays, man, he showed up in no huddle mode. It was awesome.
you're going to have a quarterback in these moments when you get into the playoffs. Like, things are not going to always go right. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes over the years. Look at the injuries and him having to bounce back from injuries. I mean, look at last year with Jalen Hurts going into the playoffs, not playing his best football, and how he was able to have to kind of overcome to get right. You're going to have these moments. Look at earlier in the year. Patrick Mahomes threw 3 interceptions, and he wasn't able to come back and win that game against the Jets. So having someone that's been battle-tested, someone that you can see, hey, in the moment, it's never too much. It's always, hey, you know what? We got another play. As long as we get another shot. Defense, if you give us another shot. Now, defense, Ryan, they can look at Jared Goff and be in these crunch time situations and say, hey, look, defense, guys, we know if we get 16 the ball back, he's gonna make something happen. That's how you get your guys motivated. So when they see this, you get the ball back, you get the drive, you score at the end of the half, you get the ball at the end of the game, you get down there, and obviously you win with David Montgomery. This is a big team win, because now defense can also say, all right, we got to step our stuff up. We got to step our stuff up, because maybe they shouldn't have been in this position. If you're a good defense, if you want to be better, you start to look at yourself as well and say, you know what? We know that he can last the test of time. We got to not put them in a situation where they're having to win the game like this at the end. So it's a good team win all around.
I'll tell you, man, a guy that we're not talking about could have been MVP of the game is Alex Anzalone. He's all over the field. He is all over the field, this guy. Defensive captain, the guy that he's the quarterback of that defense, and they look up to him. And what happened at the end of the game with Hutch, I really hope that maybe gets him going for the rest of the season, because that was a hell of a finish for him as well. I just think they feed off of Alex Anzalone, and the way Hutch finished that game was phenomenal. He tried his best yesterday. They just can't get anything going in the middle of that defensive line. Sure, Aleem McNeil got a sack, his 5th. Ties Ndamukong Suh, first time since 2014 that interior lineman got 5 sacks in a season, and we got plenty more to do. But they need help, man, because I was on my way here to the studio in the 3rd quarter, listening to Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, and TJ. And it's just disappointing. And you hear the guys, you hear Lomas saying, hey, look, they're just not doing anything in the middle of that line. That middle of the line is not doing anything. They're almost just like, the offensive linemen, they're like almost like just staying with the offensive linemen. They're not moving. And I know it comes back to who the hell we drafted and who we didn't get at the deadline and all, but they're gonna need more help on that defensive line. But hats off to Anzalone.
You see Jack Campbell get shook?
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
I'm just glad he didn't get shook like old boy from last night and tear his ACL, Mufunga. He really got shook.
I know. That's gonna help the 49ers lose that guy.
I want to talk about Anzalone, Hutchinson, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, the running back situation. I mean, there's a lot going on with these Detroit Lions. Alex Anzalone, by the way, career high 15 tackles, 11 solo, a fumble recovery. First Lion since 1999 to produce a game with 15 or more tackles and a fumble recovery. He's also the first player in the NFL to do it since 2010. Produced his 27th straight game with 5 or more tackles. What's that?
Who did it in 99?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
It was still at the Silverdome in 99.
Yeah, maybe Tracy Scroggins. His fumble recovery was the second of his career.
Maybe Spielman.
Playing great. Not in 99.
He wasn't even here anymore.
It might have been in Buffalo in 99.
Buffalo, good call, yeah.
Guys, so more Lions next, but first a message from Planet Fitness.
All right, I got Planet Fitness today. So, with that being said, Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can work out judgment-free. That means you can work out your machine. Take your time. Nobody's judging you. You can get your workout in at your own pace. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym. It gets better and better each year. We know because we were there a month ago. Has a ton of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes. And all memberships include free training fitness-wise. $10 a month is all it takes. Your fitness is essential. Come on down to Planet Fitness.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey gang, when it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store, family owned and operated for over 30 years. And they have 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and curbside delivery as well. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Check them out online at premierpetsupply.com.
Yeah, no, I actually went down there. I said, it just doesn't do any better than this. Like, this is the moment, this is what you want to be in right now. Game on the line, you got a chance to make the big stop, man, to win this game. And Hutch goes out there and makes the sack fumble of his life for a safety. I mean, that to me is, those are the moments, man, we're built for. Like, that's how we have to think. And I mean, that was what it felt like when they took the field. Is, you know, this is why you play this game at this level, is for moments just like that. It was awesome.
And that was Dan Campbell after the win yesterday, a 29-24 win over the Chicago Bears. 31-26. Why did I think 29-24?
I have no idea.
Let me start that over. A 31-26
There you go.
final. Oh yeah, I'm looking right at it. I got my box. I got my box score. I got all my papers. I got my game notes.
You got your
highlighted
papers?
everything.
You got your
I got
papers?
everything. Yeah,
All right.
31-26. I have no idea why I thought that. But look, he talked about Aiden Hutchinson there at the end too. About, you know, this is the moment we're made for, because look, Chicago had the ball, they had a timeout, and they had all they needed was a field goal. So somebody had to make a play, and Aiden Hutchinson finally made a play. And again, with him, you talk about, you know, maybe a lack of push up front in the middle of the defensive line. When an offensive coordinator makes his weekly game plan for the Detroit Lions, who's the one guy on the Detroit Lions defense that coordinator is planning to neutralize?
97.
The entire offensive game plan is with the thought of, it starts with how do we neutralize 97. And they're doing a good job of that. This time, Hutchinson made a play. And by the way, just Aiden Hutchinson, numbers on him, quickest player in NFL history to accumulate 15 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. It needed only 27 games to do so. Brian Urlacher, the Hall of Fame linebacker from the Chicago Bears, had the previous record, 34 games to hit those totals. Pretty darn good.
Did you hear what Orlovsky said about after the win? Orlovsky went on Twitter and wrote a little something on Aiden Hutchinson, how lucky the Lions were that he fell to number 2, because he's the best player by far of those guys that you were talking about, Thibodeau, him, and whoever the hell.
Walker.
Exactly.
Trayvon Walker.
Is it Trayvon Walker?
Trayvon Walker. Yeah,
Look how lucky.
Right.
Look how lucky.
You couldn't even think of his name, and I couldn't either.
No.
Yeah, it's Trayvon Walker. Obviously, Jacksonville they run the wrong defense for Trayvon Walker. It's not allowing him to have success. But even with that, you know, he doesn't possess what Aiden possesses in terms of he played tight end, the cachet, the interceptions, his hands, his athletic ability, his acumen to play the game. I believe Aiden Hutchinson is a better player, and thank God that Urban Meyer was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, because we knew that was O State versus Michigan. You want to see Aiden get to the quarterback and get some more sacks. You want to see Aiden dominate in that way. But let's not talk about that for right now. Let's just talk about the presence of mind to having a game, maybe not your best, not getting to where you want to be. Aiden wants to get to the quarterback. Aiden's not getting to the quarterback for lack of effort. It's not lack of effort. It's definitely being schemed. So he's always close. He's right there. But to be close, to be right there a whole game, and then in the last play of the game, well, for you, the last play of the game, you're still clawing, you're still fighting, and you get a sack, strip fumble to win the game, and then you punt the ball. I don't even think it ever came down. If it did, it landed on Belle. Like, that's the type of guys you want. You said the same thing for Jared Goff. Jared Goff, ugly game. But when it mattered, he was there. Aiden Hutchinson, he didn't get to the quarterback. But when it mattered, he made the play that mattered most for the Detroit Lions and winning this game. There's some things they can clean up. But one is not mental toughness. One is mental toughness. They do not have to worry about. They have that in spades.
Yep.
And the Lions will get going. Everybody has a couple games like that. I mean, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they lost to the Jets. I would take the Chicago Bears right now over that New York Jets team any day of the week.
Jets beat both Super Bowl teams.
They did.
Unbelievable.
And that's what happens. You
got
get
4 wins.
You get in these games sometimes, man, and you for whatever happens, it does not go your way, but you find a way to win if you're the good team. And Detroit Lions yesterday, they found a way to win. This is one of those games you'll watch why you got in those bad spots. You'll watch how Justin Fields out-leveraged the offense all day long in the first half, and that's why they had success. They'll watch that. They'll get better at that. But you know what? They won. That mental toughness, that's what you want. That's where you want to be battle-tested in the playoffs. You got to have that mental toughness, and they show you they already have it.
I didn't think the Bears I don't think they need a quarterback. I think Justin Fields can quarterback this team. I think he is a good NFL quarterback that does not have a hell of a lot to work with. That's, I'm not going to talk about the Bears. I know no one wants to talk about the Bears, but what's your thoughts on that kid?
Well, he definitely played a hell of a game yesterday. I mean, it looked like he was competent. He missed 2 deep throws, which Lions were very thankful. Whether they were wrong, bad, they missed them. Yeah. They did not connect on a couple of deep throws. Now, whose fault those were, whatever, quarterback, wide receiver, they missed them. Those are throws that you miss too many of those in the NFL. You give teams a chance to hang around.
No, for sure.
But he played a really good game. And, again, I think the Lions defensively, them and a lot of other teams have a hard time shutting down running quarterbacks.
It's just like Michigan. Michigan's Achilles heel my whole life has been running quarterbacks, whether it was Cordell Stewart, whether it was Donovan McNabb, whether it was insert Ohio State quarterback here. They've struggled with running quarterbacks. It just is what it is. To answer your question, Maz, I think he's done himself a favor. The last 3 games, even if you go back to the 2 before he got injured, have been his best 3 to 4 game window, period. Justin Fields played himself yesterday, and we'll see what happens the rest of the season, into maybe a first-round pick is what you can get for him at the end of the year if you're the Chicago Bears. I don't think he'll be a Bear. They'll bring a new system in. They'll try to get, Caleb or one of those guys. But to your point, I think Justin Fields can now go for a number 1 pick to another team, and he's definitely somebody's starting quarterback.
Agreed.
I agree with you on that.
But again, in 2, not to talk about the Bears a lot, but a lot of this is how you build a team.
Right.
If you have a new general manager and a new head coach, you know what you want?
Your quarterback.
5 years, though.
Yeah,
you want
true.
5 years of team control of that quarterback. You're not going to go, if you keep Justin Fields, you got to pay him after next year?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'll lose these rookies after the rookie deal. You want to start that clock on a 5-year deal. I want to talk about Jameson Williams, if I could, for a second, because this kid's been great. And he might not have the stats. He might not be lighting up the scoreboard or his box score. But this kid is playing winning football. And that was a huge grab in the end zone on the touchdown when he did it as well, because he drops that pass. If they don't connect there, then maybe that comeback doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. You were able to come back because you had all the time. You never know what happens. It could be a fumbled snap, anything, any number of things can happen. So he's been playing really good football. He's blocking out there. He made a first down grab as well, clutch first down grab, and he scored a touchdown. And he's fun to watch, and he loves being with this team, and I'm becoming a huge fan of his.
Yeah, he's one of those situations, man. One of the biggest things I kept saying when he was here, and it was the injury when he first got drafted, and it was all stuff in the offseason. It's like, give this guy time. I was like, let's not forget what this guy was at Alabama. Don't forget why they moved up to draft him. Don't forget the interview process and when Brad Holmes had to sit down with Jameson Williams to find out what type of guy he was before he even got here, man. Just give him a second. He's still young. Once he figures things out. The best thing that he showed us was effort. The best thing that he showed the fan base and the Detroit Lions and his teammates, he's shown effort. Even when he couldn't catch passes or when he was inconsistent, let's say like that, and catching passes, he was blocking for his running backs. He was getting down the field for Jahmyr Gibbs. He got down the field for David Montgomery last week. With that, when you're watching that effort, when you're watching the guy stay the course, when you're watching the guy having fun, being a part of the team, you're like, it's only a matter of time before it starts to click. Let's not forget who Jameson Williams was. Let's not forget those 1,500 yards. Let's not forget those feet we see during the week when we get those videos from our brother Matt Broder. What's up, Matt Broder? Let's not forget those videos we see. This guy can play. This guy stays the course. And now you're starting to see him have some fun. There's nothing like being a part of success. There's nothing like knowing that you are one of the reasons why someone or something is doing well. And I think that's where he's at right now. And it's only going to get better and better because now Ben, i.e. Jared, has faith or confidence. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, and there's continuing to build to that trust. Here's J-Mo. Speaking of Matt Broder, this is from Matt Broder. On J-Mo, talking about the sideline vibe. He's talking about the team.
The way down the stretch.
We knew we were still in the game. We knew it wasn't over. Everybody on the sideline dapping each other up and keeping each other up because we know we finna get this ball back. Our defense can give us this ball back. We're finna go score. We finna do it again. And that's what we just did. So I think having that mindset on the sideline helped us a little bit go out there and really do it.
Hey guys, well, you know how I feel about this kid. He's won me over. But yesterday on the post-game show with Stick, myself, and we had Anson. Anson is on the effect that he believes when you drafted this kid, 12th, moved up to get him. If you look at his body of work over as long as he's been here, the 2 years, including the redshirt year, basically, he still puts him in. He's around bust territory. And Stick and I argued probably way too long we spent on this. And the way the kid's playing now, I don't even think that word comes into my mind. It doesn't. But if you look at all his numbers and what he's done here and the way they drafted him, it doesn't look good for the Lions. They don't use him a lot. Let's face it. They're not using him a lot. They're just using him in spot duty. I don't want this guy, who was the 12th overall pick last year, to be just a home run hitter. He's got to be your number 1A receiver to really make that pick count. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
I won't say you're wrong. I just say it's not time to talk about that right now. Like, I don't think now is the time to talk about whether the Jameson Williams pick moving up 20 is the right pick right now. The biggest thing right now is Amon-Ra St. Brown is a number 1 NFL wide receiver. Sam Laporta, when the hell they can find Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta was operating as a number 1 tight end in the NFL. You got David Montgomery and you have Jahmyr Gibbs. Right now, you look at the situation. Last year, Jameson Williams was only allowed to play how many games, Ryan? 3, 4. Season's over. Can't really get into a groove. Come into this season. Now he's suspended the first 6 games before obviously it became 4. But he suspended 6 games. He hasn't been he hasn't really gotten into a rhythm to be able to find his spot. Ben Johnson hasn't been able necessarily to break the offense up to fit him in, just so you can now make it make sense that he was the 12th pick overall. Right now the offense is humping. Right now the offense is rocking and rolling, with the exception of the first half of yesterday's game. But it's rocking and rolling. You're getting the running backs going. You got a 2-headed monster running back. Jared Goff was playing MVP football. You got Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds. Offense is clicking. Now you're starting to see Jameson Williams starting to come along. Follow the process, man. They're going to bring him along. It's going to get more and more and more. And then you're going to probably look at it in the playoffs, especially next season. He'll really be able to, let's say, be what you guys want him to be or think he should be next season.
I don't agree with Anson that he's a bust.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you pick a guy at 12, I would have thought by now they'd be using him more. And I know he's breaking in little at a time, but it's very little. Ryan, I mean, you could bring up his numbers. How many times did they go to him? What did they throw? 3 balls to him? He caught 2, 1 for a touchdown?
But again,
that's not a lot.
I'm sorry to cut you
off.
No,
go for it.
It's just the offense. Like, man, this offense has been, I don't want to say elite, but this offense has been efficient at a high level since last year, even when they weren't good. Like, they were averaging the most points in the NFL the first 4 games of the season before Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams has only been available, Maz, for what are they right now? It's 8-2, 10 games, it's 6 plus 3 last year. 9 games is what he's been available for so far. So I think it's still a process. If the Lions' offense wasn't as good as it is,
right,
if it wasn't as efficient,
then we could complain.
Then I think
right.
we could complain, because then you're like, all right. Like,
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
Right. Can I just say this too about Jameson Williams? This kid almost missed 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think what you see a snap count go up. You see his trust factor with Goff going up. I mean, Goff connected with him on a 3rd down pass. Needed to keep the drive
2
going.
weeks in a row, too.
He drops that. He doesn't go back. I mean, there's so many different things. So he's learning. And yes, you want everybody to come in and be Justin Jefferson. I understand that.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works. I mean, remember, and I think this is because of social media. We want to label people right now.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford didn't even play football for 2 years. His first 2 years, he was injury prone. Season-ending injury his rookie year, season-ending injury his second year, and never missed another game after that.
Yeah.
I mean, guys do get it. This kid is 20 years old. Is he 21 now?
Is
he allowed to drink a beer? You know what I mean? 21 now. And oh, by the way, you know what he did after the game yesterday?
Yeah, he gave
out turkeys too. I mean, everybody makes a big deal that he's at McDonald's with ice cream, or he's lighting off fireworks. How about we give him a little
McDonald's sandwich look nasty.
It was nasty, but how about we give him a little credit too? Because I was one of those guys that jumped all over him too, and boy, was I wrong about that kid.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love Jameson Williams. He's going to be a player for this football team, and he does what the offense needs him to do.
Yeah.
All 3 of his touchdowns come from 30 yards or more out. There's not too many players on this team. Every touchdown they score is outside the red zone. I mean, that's not... That guy stretches the field. So a little love for J-Mo on this Victory Monday.
They're taking some shots too. I mean, you see, he took the shot down the field with him too.
He's got my love.
I'm
just bringing up what Anson said yesterday, and the numbers.
Well, I'm glad you did, because look, a lot of people, Jameson Williams, right, wrong, or indifferent, seems to be one of the biggest lightning rod topics in our city right now.
You gotta watch talking to those Michigan State people. they always troll in some situation.
Break time. You'll hear from Jared Goff and Dan Campbell next, but first a message from the Hamlin Pub.
A bar where you are a regular. We have just a place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations, an experience where everyone is a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on Thursdays or game day specials available during all Michigan games and NFL games, you can do just that at the Hamlin Pub. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports. Hamlin Pub. Gotta go there.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. You can obviously drink it. You can obviously live it. Purchase a 24-pack today at your local Meijer and go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas to enter that $100,000 Vegas getaway. Looking to buy, look good, feel great, be the best version of yourself with Cintron. Almost the wrong read there. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud, and I know this game meant a little extra to him, and he showed up. He really did, and him getting that touchdown at the end, kind of poetic, but he played well all day. He played well all day. If we could have sustained drives a little bit more, I think it would have been a big day for him, and yeah, he did a good job.
I call this place the land of the misfit toys. You know, you get a lot of guys who have been told no their whole life, or been told they've never been good enough. You got a beautiful city like this with big, gritty, blue-collar people. You know, people look at this city for a while as not taken serious, and now we beginning to be serious. The city of Detroit is behind us, and you can feel it, you know. And we got a bunch of guys in this locker room, and coaches, high character guys, gritty guys. You know, you see what it's like when you for a long time you don't get beat down. So it starts to time to change.
The island of misfit toys, David Montgomery.
Yes, sir. I love it. Rudolph's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so great. So you heard Jared Goff talking about David Montgomery, and then, of course, Monty talking about this Lions team. David Montgomery, 12 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. The game flow really just didn't allow him to be as...
Hey, the Bears were very physical with the Lions, just like Baltimore was. So that's two teams that played physical with them. Maybe
they also had the ball for 40 of the 60 minutes.
I mean, yeah, they jammed it down their throats. They just 7-8 minute drives, man.
Pause.
Maybe they can learn a little something out of this game. Maybe they got to get a little tougher.
Yeah, you wild, man. You wild. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think you talking about the Lions need to get tougher. You think?
Yeah. They played two teams that played them tough,
right?
And they almost lost both of them.
Yeah, that is true, but it's one of those things where you look at Hank Fraley, who's the offensive line coach for the Detroit Lions, former teammate of mine. What's up, Hank? Yeah, it's time to get those guys going. Like, it's time. I think you put so much on them. You talked about last week, they get announced that their pro football focus is number one offensive line in the NFL. I think we put a lot of love on the offensive line because, you know, we talked about how many different rotations there have been, how many different people have been out, and how many people have to move to the left guard and right guard and center and, you know, and such. But at the same time, too, Maz, you bring up a good point. Like, when you start to get into December, games get more physical, especially outside. They get a little colder. You get into division games. Minnesota's going to be coming here soon. You got Denver is playing good. Dallas, you see what their defense can do with Micah Parsons. So it's only going to get stronger. But once again, this line is built for that. Sometimes you got a lot of fighters, people ask. Like, sometimes you got, hey, what's up? What do we want to be? You know, sometimes you gotta light that fire, and sometimes you gotta remember, hey, you know what? You guys are right. We've been kind of gliding along because of what everybody's been saying, and we've been having some good games. But when you win, a lot of times you gloss over things. You don't talk about the things that need to be talked about. You wait till you lose to talk about those things. Well, luckily with the Lions, they didn't lose, but they almost lost. So now these things need to be addressed in the meetings this week, in practice, in walkthroughs. You guys dodged the bullet. You were able to win a game because of your mental toughness. So now go back, correct the things, and get back after it, because now it's time to get going, because it's not going to get any easier. Denver's not the same team at the beginning of the year. Dallas, Dak is starting to put himself in a situation where I'm like, maybe this ain't the same Dak. So it's only going to get harder, so you got to address these things in the meetings, the walkthroughs, and the practices.
One outdoor game left, just at Chicago. Everything else is indoors or in good weather.
And not only that, but 4 of the last 7 games are against division opponents.
Right.
You know, they got 2 against Minnesota, 1 against Chicago there, and then they obviously play Green Bay on Thanksgiving here. And they have dominated the division. As I mentioned at the start of the show, they've won 7 straight in the division. Just going back to Monty for a second, though, Monty and Jahmyr Gibbs. So both players now have over 500 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. That's the first time that the Lions. Notice the theme. How many times have we? The first time. It's the first time since 1936 that the Lions have had 2 running backs with 500 or more yards and 5 touchdowns. 1936, that's when Dutch Clark and Ace Gutowski.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I remember those guys.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Did that. I mean, it's just incredible. It's all first. How much fun are you having this year?
Very. So much.
Isn't this...
Like, I can't wait.
That's why, and I talk about this a lot, like people that are like, oh, don't talk about the Super Bowl. Don't jinx it. Don't talk about the playoffs. Don't talk, wake me up when they win a playoff game. This franchise still hasn't done anything. What fun is that? Isn't yesterday's ride part of the fun, being on that ride every single week? This team is 16-4 in their last 20 games. They finished last year 8-2 and started this year 8-2. That is an incredible run for any football team ever to win 20 of 24 games, or 16 of 20 games.
Like 100%. Like you gotta look at it in this standpoint, man. Like the Detroit Lions fan base, it's like, I wonder how the Eagles felt. Like, this is kind of like where the Eagles felt when they first start getting it rocking and rolling in about 2014. And you look up, they win the Super Bowl. This is how the Chiefs felt when Andy Reid gets there and Alex Smith and them kind of turn it around. And then you have that Tyreek Hill game against the Chiefs where Alex Smith beats Tom Brady. That's when they turned it around. Now you're looking at the Lions. This is that very moment when the Lions are turning it around. They're no longer the same old Lions, and the Lions are entering new territory. So, me as a Jets guy, me as a guy that never grew up really loving the Lions, liking the players, this has been fun just from that standpoint. Like Ryan wearing all this Lions gear and acting like I played for the Lions. It's been fun to watch because I remember the hard times in Detroit. I remember the days where nobody wanted to go to work on Monday. I remember those days where Thanksgiving comes up and you're like, I'm gonna just get drunk, eat, and then, oh, by the way, watch the Lions as well. It's no longer that. The Lions are a team that's providing a lot of joy. And you talk about all the time, it's the new generation. So now we got those new generations of Lukies who are watching the Lions. I just know them to win.
Right.
It's going to be a great thing, man. Just got to keep the course, man, and address these things.
I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but I love the fact that the Lions didn't change their uniform yet because I want them to have success under this. It feels like they're the Detroit Lions, right?
Yeah,
they went all radical and changed their uniforms, like
that.
the Bucks went from the creamsicles or the Denver Broncos with that Bronco coming out of the D.
That's Bucky.
That's Bucky the Bronco. Man, so we'll see.
I'm with you, man.
Kind of don't want them to change their
No,
jerseys
I love
now,
leaping.
because
I love them.
They say 2024 they're gonna
change something.
They're gonna change something.
They're gonna change something.
Oh, these Lions! That
Lions!
Lions!
Don't forget, we host the draft this year on top of all this good stuff.
Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Roger Goodell was there yesterday.
Goodell was here yesterday.
Got to talk about
He
it.
talked to Dan Miller. How about hear some of that?
Let's do it.
You really got to admire it. They're playing great football. They've done it with a lot of character. I think they reflect incredibly well on this community. The young men that are on this team are just solid people who really want to do it the right way, want to be part of this community. So I think it's a great time for Detroit and the Lions.
When you start seeing Roger Goodell on the sideline, you have officially arrived into the
a random 1:00 Sunday game.
A random 1:00 Sunday game against the Bears. When you see Roger Goodell on the sideline, we always knew. Like when I saw him in San Fran, or when I saw him when I was with Seattle or the Jets in 2010, like it doesn't mean anything till you see Roger start coming on the sidelines, man. So to see Roger in the building in Detroit, man, that's a major sign. Now just keep winning.
How about Adam Amin on the call with Schlereth? Stink.
Love those
Terrific.
guys.
Aren't they good?
Those
They're becoming our
really
guys.
Good. Yeah.
They do a lot of Lion games. I think they're a great duo, and I love hearing Stink talk about the Lions.
Those guys are great, no doubt. And one of the things that Goodell was saying too is that networks are
damn
asking
right.
for the Lions. They want the Lions to be on their broadcast, and it looks like if you got tickets to the Lions in Denver game,
that might be Saturday
because Denver won. That'll get moved to Saturday.
Yeah.
Might play. What would that be? Do they play 1 and 4 or 4:30 and 7:30?
Yeah, they'll play the two late games.
Yeah, something like that.
Speaking of Denver, man, how about your boy Russell Wilson and Sean
about
Payton?
him, man, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, no doubt.
19
And I'll tell you,
touchdowns,
Cortland
4
Sutton
interceptions.
could play ball, man.
He was.
And
that-
Jerry Judy's starting to wake up.
How about that Nathaniel Hackett move now? All that stuff that he talked.
Yeah.
4 in a row.
He's a bum.
But how about those Vikings? Huh? They just play 1-score games. It's amazing.
Yeah.
One-score games.
They're a good football team.
It cost me in my picks, man. So the hell
Sorry,
with
buddy.
Oh, man, the hell with them. That's right. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. And, of course, less than 100 subscribers away from 56,000. So tell a friend about Woodward Sports and subscribe. We are expected to be joined by John U. Bacon next. It is the game week. Michigan, Ohio State. We'll get the latest from Ann Arbor next. But first, a message from Feldman.
Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer with 18 locations. There's a Feldman dealership near you, probably in your own backyard. Just go to feldmanauto.com and you can find out where that is. Since 1996, that's right, 96, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class car buying service. It's called the Feldman Advantage. Do yourself a favor, take advantage.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey gang, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official outdoor equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. Bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, and Snow X plows and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You could buy it, you could rent it, 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground. Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Kool-Aid here with us. We got Parker as well. Talking a little Michigan football. Michigan and Ohio State this week, Braylon. And I know just the thought of that means everything to us. You hear the name. I think I saw about 100 promos yesterday on Fox when I was watching the Lions game. They're promoting the hell out of that game, so we're really excited about it.
Yeah, this is why you go to Michigan. This is why you go to that other school. You go to play in this game. You know, you go to be a part of history. You go for the moments. You know, I remember we were talking off air. I remember '97. Obviously, I didn't play, but I remember being at that game, freshman in high school, and just watching the intensity on that sideline, watching the intensity between David Boston and Charles Woodson, the greatest college football player ever, in my estimation. It's just fun, man. It's just fun. It's fun to be a part of Block M. It's just the memories, man. Whether it's Shimunga Biaka Batuka, 313 yards, I'll never forget because I'm from Detroit, so that's 313. The 100th game, which I got a chance to play in and see Chris Perry have 2 touchdowns, have an amazing game, and go on and go to New York and be a finalist for the Heisman. So, man, this is back to being the game. I mean, this will be the 3rd year in a row that this game, has a major impact on not only the Big Ten, but the college football landscape. This will be the 3rd time in a row that we are in the top 3 going for it all in this game. So, man, it's the game, man. It's the greatest rivalry of all time, and everybody included.
And that's why we bring in the big guns, the big hitters this week. John U. Bacon, New York Times bestselling author, Michigan historian.
That's our guy.
X at John U. Bacon. John, how you doing, my friend?
Doing shockingly well, my friend, despite the world's endless distractions. What the hell?
I mean, and here, you thought you were just going to take some time off to write your book, and now everybody just wants to talk to you.
Oh, no. keep in mind, you guys are not the distraction. You guys are my pals.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny.
Where's this cabin at, man?
All the blogs, the Twitter, and all the rest. It sucks you in.
Where's this cabin that you got going on, man? You got like a lone shooter type vibe going on, man. Like, are you off the grid?
He's the rifleman.
Exactly. It's like Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. He's got the white on. He's in the snow. My God. Good to see you, Jeff.
Hey,
good to see you too, Braylon.
Hey, John, go ahead.
It's a damn good thing I'm happily married with a kid because the lone shooter vibe is not a real selling point as a single man. So
no, not at all.
No, it's not.
Hey, John, obviously, so many distractions, so many different ways to go. Jim Harbaugh not coaching in this game. I thought there was a 1,000% chance that he would wind up some way, somehow coaching this game. I was shocked last week at the turn of events. What do we make of Michigan's reversal in fighting the Big Ten on this suspension? What should we deduce from that? Just to recap, I was disappointed because, we had Michigan State legislators. I mean, so it was all hands on deck. Everybody was fighting this until we weren't. So what do we make of that?
You described it all too well, of course, that for Michigan, that 10-page letter the previous week was breathing legal fire, basically. That thing was strong, powerful, persuasive, and got to the Big Ten's arguments point by point by point. They had chapter and verse, and you thought, man, I'm not a lawyer, of course, but how does Michigan lose that one? And then, of course, the night before, they have their day in court, which they were championing a bit for. It seemed like, give us our day in court and so on, they were saying. All of a sudden, they said, oh, you know what? Just kidding, never mind. And they try to paint it as a win-win, but the Big Ten wants to suspend Harbaugh for 3 games. Michigan wants 0, and you compromise by taking 3 games. I don't know if that's a win-win. So I think a few things probably happened, and we are largely guessing here. It must be said yet again. But one thing is that the due process argument might not have worked, based on, in part, the irreparable harm argument. And that was in part because against Penn State, Michigan did just fine with Sharon Moore and not Jim Harbaugh. So you already have some evidence saying it's not that big a deal, so we're not in a big rush to get to that. So the lawyers might have gotten cold feet about that, in part. But I think the biggest thing was the Chris Partridge news, that when he was fired, basically, for apparently telling players not to cooperate with the NCAA investigation. At that point, you figure, okay, now we took another hit. Michigan did it, that is. So that's probably why they had to back off the whole thing. So, and what else might have been in their decision-making, we're not going to know this week, but that'll come out sooner or later. But there are 2 ideas right there. But the reaction I've gotten from Michigan fans certainly mirrors your own, Ryan. That is that dying to go, and what happened here? Whoa. In fact, Michigan fans were seemed very jacked up by the fact that for once, the president, in this case Santaono, was backing the coach with a full-throated response, which the previous president never would have done. So all that went poof in a very quick PR release. And there you go.
Talking to Friend First and New York Times bestseller second, my man John Ubega. Hey, John, you glossed over it. I want to kind of talk about the Chris Partridge situation last week. I got a couple friends up there in Ann Arbor, too, and that's what I heard. Like, remember when it first came out last week, it was kind of, he was fired because, or he was suspended because, or fired, excuse me. He was fired because he was trying to get rid of evidence of blah, blah, blah. I'm glad you cleared that up because that's the same thing I got. He was fired for basically the gag order. They told him not to say anything to the players, and that's exactly what he did. So I'm glad you cleared that up because so many people thought, oh, he's the guy. This is the guy that brought Connor Stallions in. He's the guy that knew about it. No, he was fired because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. And is that correct, John Ubega?
That is correct, and I think that's a matter of record. If you dig around deep enough, and I think you have, it was not covering up evidence, which we have not seen yet still, beyond Connor Stallions. It was by telling the players not to cooperate with the investigation, so I believe that, obstruction, basically, is what he got fired for. And I got to say, I mean, I don't know Connor Stallions. You probably don't know either.
No.
If a new young analyst was clearly eager to a fault, clearly with the 550-page manifesto and so on. If he crossed the lines, perhaps I'm not that surprised. But Chris Partridge I know fairly well. I interviewed him at length for the previous book, Overtime. He's a smart, on the level guy, and that surprised me. That surprised me.
John, I wanted to ask you about everyone's favorite uncle, Uncle T. Tim Smith says he didn't do anything. He's not the uncle. He doesn't know who the hell's going on. What's up with this booster?
We don't know a lot yet, and sorry about my crappy answers because
it's all right.
I keep saying that. But, we do know that Tim Smith is a major booster, and he is part of the NIL collectives. And he did ask the players to call him Uncle T, which is it's almost up there with what do you call it, Braylon? The lone shooter look. Yeah.
Hey, the lone shooter, baby. The lone shooter.
Something a little creepy about having the players call you Uncle T, but whatever. That's their decision. But yeah, that's what I've heard as well, and I don't know. I have no backing on that, so I can't pin that one down. But that is what I've heard. That he helped fund Counter Stallions.
I'll ask you.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, John. I was going to ask you another question you may not have an answer for.
Let's keep it going.
I'm on a roll here.
Right? No. But I think throughout all of this, Jim Harbaugh, because of all of the support that Jim Harbaugh got, I couldn't imagine him walking out that door if the NFL came a calling. Now with this, and who knows what the NCAA is gonna come back with their own event. Maybe they'll come up with their own penalty from Cheeseburger Gate or this. Maybe he sits out another 3, 4, 5 games next season. Is he wavering now? I mean, if the NFL came back, if there was a report yesterday, he's got interest in the Chicago Bears. Who knows who's reporting this stuff? But that was, I mean, could you see Jim Harbaugh leaving after this now?
It's certainly possible, and I would have said that 3 months ago, although I would have said it's less likely 3 months ago than it is now. I would say that with Jim, a few things hold true. One, as I reported back in End Zone back in 2014-15, when he came to Michigan in the first place, I went to Michigan in the first place with Jim Hackett as the athletic director. Hackett figured out early on that it's not the number that's going to get Harbaugh to Michigan. It's the love. And San Francisco showed that love to Harbaugh in 2010 when Michigan was looking for a coach. And the previous AD did not show him the love at Michigan, so Harbaugh went to the 49ers. In 2015, I know that the Raiders, the Bears, and the Jets, the main teams looking at that point, were all going to give him more money than Michigan would have. $5 million even back then was not worth sneezing at, of course. That's real money. But it was not the money that brought Harbaugh back. In this case, as you point out, Michigan showed the love like probably Harbaugh's never seen before. So that is certainly a factor, I would say, pulling Jim toward Michigan. It is still true that, he and Ward Manuel are not close, but Ward Manuel is the one who signed that 10-page letter. And it must be said, when Harbaugh was 2-4, Ward Manuel was the one who gave him a contract, and I don't know if every AD would have. So that's got to be thrown in the mix, too. I can say with complete and total confidence, my only answer perhaps you will get today like that, that when you hear that, he's got interest in Chicago, this and that, man, I recall from 2014 that Oakland is still in play. All that stuff is bull, and none of those people know a damn thing. And I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but I've seen it enough to know that is just BS, and no one out there knows anything about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is total baloney. Hey, here's a real question, though. Next season, would the NCAA still be, and this is a question I have for you, is the NCAA potentially still doing an investigation of Jim Harbaugh that maybe suspend him for next season as well, maybe up to 4 games, maybe even more? Is that potentially in play for the end of this season, or is he done with the NCAA and suspensions?
You know what? If you want to predict what the NCAA is going to do, I got a bridge in Brooklyn for you. I recall Bill Began, the old commissioner of the CCHA, the Central Collegiate Hockey Association, which was Michigan's conference for many years. He called the NCAA Vatican West. They do whatever the hell they want.
Gotcha.
I recall a 14-month investigation to determine that Michigan had stretched 15 minutes too much per week under Rich Rodriguez. 14 months and $1 million to determine that. It sounds like this investigation is going faster track than those, which is still very slow. And we all know that the NCAA rules are very clear on this. They have to give Michigan 90 days to respond. So we already know with certainty that there's no way there'll be any ruling, in all likelihood, before the end of this season, including the playoffs. So whatever Michigan does, they might be risking vacating whatever down the road. but the games we played with this over their head because the Big Ten investigation we also know is over. And I can also add, Braylon, that if Harbaugh, he's already set out 3 games in September. He'll be sitting out 3 games in November, so he got to coach in October, I guess.
Yeah.
If they tack on more or are threatening to, or they could, that could be another factor in Harbaugh going back to the NFL, because that would stick in the craw for Jim. I know that. You can also say with complete certainty that Harbaugh has not got a hell of a lot of friends in the NCAA, the Big Ten, or the media, because that's how that one's playing out.
Hey, John, how is this team sticking together? How have they stuck together? And I appreciated your tweet, actually, on Saturday, reminding everybody, last year, Michigan beat Illinois 19-17 at home, a bad Illinois team the week before Ohio State. So I love that tweet, by the way.
Well, thank you. They needed Jake Moody to win that game.
Yeah.
All field goals,
Yep.
4 of them, I think. 4 field goals and a touchdown. And if you had a bet last year, because I certainly would not have bet on Michigan going down to the horseshoe that season, even though they're undefeated after that game right there. So, man, you never know. Jane Costin, she's a very good follower. She's hilarious. She said it more profanely than I'm going to, but there's always the week before the Ohio State game is always a dog's breakfast of a game, where every stupid thing happens, and that seemed to be the game versus Maryland. So the players are very much sticking together. I think the Michigan versus everybody angle has worked quite well. Now, how much it's going to start eroding on them when you don't have your head coach for games. You don't have Chris Partridge at all. He's off campus now. You wonder how much that's going to add up. And look, beating Maryland, which is a decent team, beating Penn State, a very good team, that's one thing. Braylon Edwards knows better than anybody that beating the Buckeyes, it's another level, and especially this year.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine not having your head coach is not going to be a factor, even though I think Sharon Moore has the complete respect and affection of all the guys in the team. He's a hell of a coach. But it's also worth noting that J.J. McCarthy has not done that well as a quarterback under Sharon Moore in his 3 games as interim coach. I don't think you can put any of that on Sharon Moore. But I wonder if there's a accompanying factor having Harbaugh, a former quarterback, on your side for a game like this. I don't know. All I can say is we're about to find out, aren't we? So they seem to be sticking together. The game before probably doesn't mean that much. I would have predicted 10 days ago, before Penn State, Michigan drubbing of what seemed to be a good but not great Ohio State team. Now it seems more like a coin toss.
That's what I think. That's what we're going with too at this point.
I mean, the spreads dropped from 9 to 6.5 to 3.5. First time Ohio State has been an underdog in 5 years in the Big Ten this week.
Wow.
Yeah. First time.
Hey, John, do you think if Ryan Day loses to a interim coach-led Michigan team that he would lose his job?
At a sane, rational place, he would not. At Ohio State, he will.
Yeah. So it's Ryan Day's last game, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, and you got to say, he himself has cranked up the stakes here. By pushing Michigan on this, of course, and being part of the investigation, it seems pretty clear that Ohio State and Rutgers did give Purdue Michigan signals and so on that, to some degree or other, depends on how his brother's PI firm checks out and so on. Ryan Day's been pushing this, no question about that. All right, so there it is. If, again, in a rational place, you are 11-1 every year, Lord knows you keep your job. But Ohio State, man, they have not forgotten the Cooper years, and you guys, when you get down there, you know that. They went 2-10-1 under Cooper, and after Tressel loses 1 or 2 games to Michigan and Urban Meyer loses 0, they're not going to put up with that ever again because they know that they don't have to. And if they fire Ryan Day, man, Urban Meyer still got an office right there down the hallway from Ryan Day. That's the easiest plug-in to make in the world. So I don't think he would survive that after interim coach, after all the signal stuff and so on. I can also add, as far as the stakes go, I think this game is going to play fairly or not, accurately or not, as basically a 3-game sweep one way or the other. Because if Michigan loses, Ohio State's going to say, well, we beat you every year except for the 2 years you cheated. That's going to be the ringing phrase through the years. If Michigan wins, they're going to say, see, none of that stuff counts for anything anyway. We're just kicking your butt again and again. And that's how that one's going to play. So this game's actually worth 3 games, is my take.
Amen.
I love that. That's so good.
Good call, John.
Yeah, definitely worth 3 games. I think here's my last prediction. Michigan has to win it all for everything to be forgotten. There it is. Michigan wins the national championship, everything's forgotten. Michigan loses it's kind of like the remember the Titans. Remember what the AD told Denzel Washington before the season? He said, "Hey, look, I hate to be the guy to tell you this, but they told me they didn't expect you guys to survive camp. You lose one game, you're gone. I think if Michigan loses one, I think this thing opens up to things that we don't even imagine. I think if they win it all, hey, Jim Harbaugh comes back, NCAA forgets about it, everything is good. That's what I think it is. You lose one, it's over. You win it all, everybody keeps their job."
I think that's spot on. And I can add another reason to that. Look, the NCAA is supposed to be a fair arbiter of all these things, like the court system and so on. No thumb on the scale and so on, but we know damn well that when you win a national title, they don't want to catch you doing anything, because then it's got to throw it all back. It's embarrassing for everybody, and that's why Cleveland State gets hammered. Great line by Jared Darkanian. What was a great line? I'm going to butcher it probably, but the NCAA is so mad at us at UNLV that Cleveland State's bound to get it. If Michigan loses this game and loses the bowl game, then they're a fair game, and Harbaugh's gone, and maybe, and they're going to hammer the hell out of Michigan. So if they win the whole thing, I think Braylon is spot on.
Yeah.
Furthermore, there's also a case to be made. If they do win the whole thing, it shows the whole thing was over not very much, because who has not got their signals by now? That's got to be established. At this point, the signals are not that big a deal.
No.
I can also say with complete certainty, this is the most annoying scandal of my life.
Same.
The whole thing.
Oh.
Man. It was dumb for Michigan to even get their nose in it, whether it's Connor Stallions alone or not. The NCAA itself said that this provides a marginal competitive advantage. That was in writing 2 years ago. It's a very dumb thing to get your nose bent about either way. So there we are.
Yeah, it sounds like Ohio State had Michigan signs last year too.
They did.
Had them enough to give Purdue the signal. So they had our signs. No matter how they got them, they had our signs, and we still
drubbed them.
Whomped they ass.
Hey, John, at least you get another book out of this. You can get another book out of this easy.
La 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 la.
John, get back to writing, my friend. We appreciate you taking some time with us. We love having you on.
Thanks,
bud. And buy one of John's books for the holidays. How about that? Let's do that.
Buy two. What are you talking about?
Buy two.
Buy two.
John U. Bacon on X at John U. Bacon, New York Times bestselling author, Michigan historian. We appreciate having him on. We are going to take a break. Come right back. More Michigan, and we'll go around the NFL. But first, a message from Swiss. Ooh.
Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall also is a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward sports, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. That number again, 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance are covering us, so they should be covering you too.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut
Savor
experience.
the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
All right, you know what time it is. It's Thanksgiving Day Lions action. Lions VIP tailgate downtown Eastern Market Shed 5. It's going to be off the chain. Bullseye Event Group. Get your tickets today at bullseyeeventgroup.com. Sponsored by Long Drink. The food's good. The people are good. Come on down 9:30 to 1 because when game kicks off, you got to get out there and you got to watch the Detroit Lions do that thing against the Green Bay Packers. Lions VIP tailgate. Sponsored by Long Drink.
Before we get back to the NFL, just to put a bow on this Michigan conversation for the time being. They did not play their best football game on Saturday. J.J. McCarthy was not great at all.
He's hurt. He's limping around.
Yep. And we'll see what happens. This game, I'll be honest with you, I thought was a Michigan blowout 4 weeks ago. I do not think it's a Michigan blowout at this point. I think it's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah,
absolutely. And losing to Harbaugh is a big deal. That is a big deal.
Big.
That was a big thing for me on Friday. Like, you lose your coach. Like, it's not just a coach. It's a coach that's arguably the best coach in the country. Obviously under a couple guys that are winning national championship. But he means that much to this team. I mean, you see how the kids feel about him. Like that situation with J.J. McCarthy where he throws in the triple coverage right before the end of the half. It almost gets intercepted. And then he comes right back and he does the same exact thing. And the second time it is intercepted. See, those are the type of things that Harbaugh can calm down. Those are the type of things. How many times you see Harbaugh slap his quarterback's shoulder pads? Hey, calm down, relax, stay with me. You got this. He throws that the first time. After Harbaugh comes to him on the sideline and say, hey, look, you got this, relax. Guarantee you he takes a check down or he takes a throw that's there and it's a touchdown. It's not an interception. So little things like that do matter in this game. But I'm happy that game happened. I'm happy they had that game with Sharon Moore because guess who gets to coach during the week? It's Jim Harbaugh. So I love that the fact that JJ had to go through that moment. The team went through that moment, much like the Detroit Lions, I mean, if we're being honest, had to go through that moment, and they overcame it. So it'd be good for JJ and the players to get a chance to talk to Jim Harbaugh this week before going into the game.
I believe this is going to be a tough one. I said it last week. I still stick with it. JJ, he's not been the same the last 2 weeks. He hasn't. And I believe with Harbaugh on the sidelines, he looks to him. They got something. And when your guy's not there, it's like your dad. If your dad's not in the stands and he's been at all your games and one day he misses and he's looking around and, you know, back in 1980, Jim Craig, the great goaltender from the Team USA when they beat the Russians, Miracle on Ice, he was always looking around for his dad to get that confidence going. And he's not going to find Jim Harbaugh unless Jim is hiding somewhere in Michigan Stadium.
Where do you think he's watching the game?
I hope he's in Michigan Stadium wearing a Bobby Valentine thing.
In his office.
By himself.
In his office.
That's how I want Jimmy to. I wish they had a camera on him.
Yeah.
In Schembechler Hall. In his office.
Probably Jack's there too.
Yeah. Probably Jack.
Probably him and Jack.
But it's tough, man, to not have your guy on the sideline, the guy that you look to, because JJ has not been good.
Do you think he's in the locker room after the game?
No. Like, even if
I don't know if he's allowed.
After the game, right?
Because then we get back into the situation of like blurring the lines of what's.
Well, I guess you could just come to Schembechler Hall.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want him there because I won't. Oh, he was hiding in this and he was giving. No.
They should just run straight to Schembechler Hall.
That would be amazing.
That's what they should do.
No, here's what you do. You can't. You got warm ups. I was gonna say they walk over there. In their dressed in their pads, walk already from Schembechler, but then you got to do warm-ups and all that. But
what's closer,
stay
Chrysler?
away from
Chrysler.
Yeah, that's where you go.
No, because Chrysler's connected to Schembechler.
Right.
I don't want any BS from the Big Ten on what took place, what transpired. Stay at Schembechler.
Right.
We will see you after the win.
Michigan
Coach.
wins on Saturday. J.J. McCarthy grab everybody at midfield, take the ball, and run to Schembechler Hall.
I'm with it.
Just run through the parking lot.
Because you can cut through the train tracks.
Absolutely.
Cut the train tracks. Go right in the back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm down for that. And then Jim Harbaugh meets you on field 4. Field 4 at the 50-yard line.
Right.
Hey, we got to set this up.
How about that?
Put it out there.
There's your book, John.
Put it out there.
Guys, back to the NFL next. How did we do this week? Maz on fire.
I got cheated.
We'll do that next. But first, a message from
cheated.
Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been
for
over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign, out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
She canceled the concert.
Stay out. That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Hey,
Don't
Lauren Hill,
cancel the
stay
concert.
out.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. They've added the Buick GMC brands to their huge staple of lineups. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. So Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn. Now Les Stanford Buick GMC in Ferndale. All GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Find them.
All right, Tom Mazaway. I believe since you won the week again,
yes,
you should have the floor here. Recap our picks for us.
That was his first time.
Tom Mazaway went 5-2 this week.
Seahawks cost me, and the Lions cost me.
40. Dude, the Lions almost covered.
I know.
Oh my!
If that would have been a touchdown, we cover.
That guy kicks the ball out of the end zone. Hutch is ready to fall on that for a touchdown.
That would have been a great stat for him to have.
Oh, no doubt. So
I didn't think about that.
Maz 44, 29-4. Braylon was 2-5 this week. He falls under 500 now, 36, 37-4, and I'm just an absolute disaster. 3-4 week, 33-40 on the year. Tom Mazaway.
That's why we don't let you bet.
Take us around the NFL.
You got it, fellas.
I'm doing a job of that on my own. I don't need to.
Hey, let's pop it up there. I don't know, Cool. If Kool-Aid, I don't know if you could put the scoreboard up on the back. We'll see how we can do it. Dallas 33-10 winners over Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Listen, man, the Carolina Panthers have Bryce Young. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans are continuing to win with C.J. Stroud. What are these poor people in Carolina thinking right now? And how is it affecting Bryce Young to see the guy that drafted behind him kicking ass?
There's no doubt about this.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. And people need that immediate gratification. We just talked about it with Jameson Williams in his second year now. How do you think Bryce I almost called him Bryce Harper. Bryce Young feels about it through just over the midway part of his rookie season? Jeez. I mean, but it does appear, if I gave you a do-over, who are you taking first?
C.J. Stroud.
With the quickness.
Yeah.
With the quickness.
Yep. C.J. Stroud and Houston won 21-16 over Arizona to make it even worse. They win, couple touchdowns for Kyler Murray, but C.J. he's just doing it.
Yeah, definitely the only one of the only 2 wins that I had this week was this one. They covered with the 5 points. The big thing I like about this, it wasn't even on the field, Ryan. It wasn't even on the field. It was obviously he came back. He threw 2 interceptions, didn't play his best game, although still having 300 yards. It was a press conference. Like, you have a winner when you can watch the press conference. Like, he goes to the podium. They're asking him about this. He said, look, man, Steph Curry, he don't stop shooting when he misses a couple shots. So immediately you're like, oh, okay, now he's comparing himself to Steph. And then you continue listening to what he said. He said, look, I just got to keep going out there, man. I'm very confident in who I am. I'm confident in my team. I'm not going to stop shooting my shot because I have a couple bad throws. If I'm D'Amico Ryans, we got one. We got ourselves one. Because it's not just the winning. It's not just the 300 yards. It's not just the mean stats that he had last week and what Tank Dell and Nico Collins are doing. It's the fact that he's a leader. He's a guy that's like, no. I know I'm that dude, but I know I got to work through some things at times to get back to where I want to be. So, hell of a game by him, man. They struck gold.
Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's lost, man. He's going backwards. Steelers lose a late one to Cleveland, 13-10 the final. 13-10.
NFL football game.
It's an NFL football game. Listen to this.
They got 2 backup quarterbacks in the game.
Notable quarterbacks with more passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett since the start of last season. Davis Mills. He doesn't play anymore. Marcus Mariota.
He doesn't
play anymore. Matt Ryan doesn't play anymore. He has attempted 1 pass this season only. These guys. This is terrible.
He needs a new offensive coordinator too. Yeah. I mean, Matt Canada is probably one of the league's worst coordinators out there
ever. Here's some interesting inside information. The Pittsburgh Steelers, their draft grade on Kenny Pickett was low
third
second.
Grade, right?
It was low second, round. Early third round. But the reason why they took him is Pitt guy, plays at Pitt. You know, we can make him quarterback.
I thought he was going to be pretty good.
I didn't at all.
Just because of the way he played in college. I just thought he was a smart guy. Remember the fake slide, all of that kind of stuff. I just thought he was it. I thought he had it.
Yeah, I was not a Kenny Pickett guy, and it will take Pittsburgh longer to get rid of him, too. Pittsburgh will fall back because they will hang on to Kenny Pickett because he's a Pittsburgh guy a lot longer than insert quarterback. Then the Packers will hold on to Jordan Love.
This goes back to, we talked to Mike Tannenbaum. It talks about you got to take a quarterback, man, especially when you have these great quarterbacks. So what if they get pissed? You got to have conversation with them, like Ben Roethlisberger on his way out the door, whether it was Aaron Rodgers on his way out the door. Have these conversations with these older, great quarterbacks. Hey, look, man, like the franchise goes on. Like after you guys leave, we're going to have to draft. Can we draft some people and you be cool with that? You groom them a little bit, and then somebody's going to have to take over for you guys. But I think if they have the conversations with these players as opposed to sneaking and drafting behind people's backs, it'd be much easier.
Hey, the Packers, speaking of Jordan Love, they did hold serve at home at Lambeau, 23-20. They knock off the Chargers. I want to go to Brandon Staley here. I know everyone's favorite coach. This poor guy. We know he's probably going to get
canned. Did you say poor guy?
Yeah, I always feel bad for people that are going to lose their job. So anyway,
you don't ever feel bad for the players. It's just the coaches.
No, I feel bad for the players as well.
This guy is a negligent coach, man.
The Chargers media is all over Brandon Staley. So they asked him, hey, are you going to continue to coach the defense? Here's what Brandon Staley had to say to his beat writers.
So you can stop asking that question, okay? I'm going to be calling the defenses, okay? So we're clear. So you don't have to ask that again.
Brandon Staley.
He's a guy that's lost his job.
Yeah,
and lost his team.
I feel bad.
I don't feel bad for him. They got to the playoffs. They lost a 28-point lead in the playoffs to a quarterback that had 4 interceptions in the first half. They lost then. He always puts them in bad spots. He is wasting Justin Herbert's career. You can say what you want to about Justin Herbert. Yes, he's not having a good year. He's wasting his career. Since they've been in the league, Justin Herbert's they've averaged 25.3 points with Justin Herbert. You know how many points they average on the opposition? 25.4. He has a losing record since he's been in the league. It's on the coach. Wouldn't you love to see a coach that has some cachet, a coach that has a coach that know what the hell he's doing, play with Justin Herbert? Wouldn't you like to see that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, 100%. So I want to see it too. So please fire Brandon Staley. He's shown you he's not the guy. He's supposed to be a defensive guru. 1 year he was defensive coordinator for Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
That makes him great.
That's the Chargers too. I mean, the Chargers.
No, they're even they're like a 500 team for forever.
With nice uniforms and great players.
Their ownership too. I mean, that's why the Rivers
is terrible.
Are not Rivers, but that's why Eli Manning and the Mannings didn't want to play there
Right.
because it's like that organization is kind of like what you thought the Lions really were prior to Sheila taking
They
over.
were.
Just an organization that is always going to do something to screw it up.
Yeah.
Even if they fire Brandon Staley, doesn't matter. They're probably not going to bring in the right guy. Just all of these things. So it doesn't even matter what they do because they're probably going to find a way to screw it up.
You're absolutely correct. It just is. It is so negligent the fact that they have the second highest.
That's ownership.
You're right. It starts at the top. They have the second highest defensive roster like in the NFL, and they're ranked 32 in defense. Make that make sense.
They don't. Jacksonville behind Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley knock off the Titans 34-14. Here's a bet for you guys for the rest of the year. Just bet against the Titans. They've mailed it in. The Titans have mailed it in.
That's right. They've
mailed it in.
No
Will
doubt.
Levis is getting a chance to prove that he could play in the NFL, but besides that, they're done.
Guys, we'll go back around the NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, fellas, winter time, and winter comfort food is always better with food from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan of the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about breakfast? Start your day off with the potato pancakes. The stuffed potato pancakes are back, as well as the lumberjack and Santa Fe garden omelets. The new apple pie hotcakes are too good to miss as well. And then end your day with a great shake. And you have the new gingerbread shake. You can get that, plus the usual, the vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and even the Oreo. All at your local Big Boy. They're even at Ford Field.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about the WoodwardSports.com merch. Woodward Sports Network, baby. You can wear what we wear. That's all right. You got hats, tees, sweatshirts, hoodies.
Quarter zips.
Things
Jackets.
for the baby. Things for the adult. All ages, all generations. Go to the WoodwardSports.com, click on the shop tab, and the stuff is great. It's really reasonable. It's cheap, actually. I was going to say reasonably priced, but it's cheap. You do your holiday shopping there. Woodward Sports, give it to the person you love. How about that?
Good man.
Guys, let me tell you. I just saw a soundbite from Jim Harbaugh.
You mean comparing the locker room to his mother's bathing suit?
I'll send it in and maybe we can. Yes, he did do that.
Yes.
It's in one piece.
He likes them both in one piece.
Like all my mom's bathing suits, one piece.
One piece. That's the way I like my locker room.
He was asked about his respect level for Ryan Day. And the answer is great. I'll send that in.
Is
See
he
if we
still
get
born
that
on
before
third?
the end of the show. Matt, we'll go back to you for
All right.
NFL.
Hey, Ryan, you almost pulled this one off. Remember you said Vegas might upset Miami?
I did.
A lot closer than I thought it would be. Miami had 11-point favorites in this game. They beat the Raiders 20-13. Not a great day for Miami's offense coming off the bye. So who knows? And they lose Devin Achane again.
Oh, really? Did he go out? I didn't see
He's
that.
out again. He went out early in the game. He got hurt again, his knee. And I don't think they win without him.
Miami's a team I can't figure out. I just have a hard time figuring out Miami.
I got to figure it out. When they play easy teams, they win. When they play teams with good defenses, they lose. That's what they seem to be so far. But I gotta make a comment quick. I'll make it quick, man. That play that Tyreek Hill had when he caught that pass and there's 4 guys around him and you're looking, there's no way he scores and he blows by them all. I was at my dad's house. Shout out to Pops. I'm sitting with Pops. We're watching the game. And I'm asking them, I'm like, yo, Dad, have you ever seen this before? He said, I've seen some guys that can run. I've been across some guys with Olympic speed. I've never seen somebody be able to play that fast on the football field. This is coming from my dad, who's seen it for a very long time. I've never seen that, man. I've seen guys like be speedsters. What Tyreek Hill does is it's unfathomable.
Hey, today is the anniversary of the great Monday night game between the Oilers and the Dolphins.
The Heidi game?
Speaking
of
Oilers.
the Oilers and the Dolphins. And I'm speaking of your dad, Earl Campbell, taking the pitch from Dan Pastorini and going 85 yards end around, and players were like running after him, flailing their arms. This was a huge man that just picked it up. He ran for 200-plus yards in that game. So just bring it back to the Tyler Rose. That's for your dad, too.
Yeah,
I know he was a big fan.
Pop's got great
Love
Campbell
You Blue.
stories, man.
Love You Blue. Hey, the Giants beat the Commanders 31-19. Here's the thing about this game. First, Tommy DeVito, 2 touchdowns for the kid.
Solid.
Then he went home. His
From
mom
Jersey.
His mom made him chicken cutlets. She did his laundry, made his bed. He sat down. They watched TV around the fireplace in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. So Tommy DeVito, congrats to him. But did you know that there was no hot water at this place at FedEx Field? They could not take showers at the end of the game because the hot water was out.
Well, they
at
couldn't take
FedEx
cold
Field.
showers, right?
Yeah, nothing.
Who's taking a cold shower?
They couldn't take a cold shower?
Who wants to take a cold shower after a game?
I would take a cold
Ask Braylon.
I
He'll
would
tell
take
you.
a cold shower if I was getting on a plane.
What?
Yeah, but like
the road team?
But soap works with hot water, though, not cold water.
Anyhow,
I wouldn't take it.
That's what happened at FedEx Field, which is going to be torn down as soon as they could figure out where they're putting their new stadium and who's going to be the new coach and GM of Washington next year.
They almost took Jalen Hurts out of the game. Remember that when the thing collapsed? Remember when the thing collapsed on the fans during the game? Like,
that stadium was like an erector set.
Man, you know what's his name? Josh Harris.
Josh Harris.
Josh Harris and Big Magic. They got something.
They got something cooking.
They got something on their sleeve.
Hey, San Francisco, no problem with Tampa Bay, 27-14 in that game. But who did they lose there on defensive side? The 49ers.
Mofonga, the safety, who's actually having one of those Pro Bowl type layers. Like,
there you go.
Mofonga is a good. See, this is what happens. The
There you
longer the
go.
season goes on, you don't know how a team is going to be when they face against you. Right now, Mofonga not being in that secondary. Isn't it crazy? I saw somebody said this. Probably Colin. Said the 3 teams right now in the NFC that are fighting for that number 1 seed, all 3 of them, their Achilles heel so far is the same spot. It's a secondary.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles, secondary is not the same without C.J. Gardner-Johnson. 49ers, no Mofonga, their secondary is stronger too. And the Lions secondary is definitely stronger at spots this year, so it's very interesting.
That's why the pass rush becomes so important, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's why your pass rush is
And that's what the 49ers still have.
Yeah, they do.
They got that.
Yeah. And they're a damn good team, man.
They are.
They're a damn
You don't
good
want to
team.
play them in
Brock
California,
Purdy,
though. Hey, Buffalo knocked off the Jets. Here, 32-6. Here, the Jets wide receivers had 9 yards. 9 yards.
Man.
And the word on the street is, well, it's not on the street anymore. It's official. Zach Wilson's getting benched. Guess who's going to start on Black Friday against the Dolphins? TB12.
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle, our old friend.
And he was worse than Zach Wilson
He's
yesterday,
terrible.
actually. So
Kool-Aid's better than
whatever
him.
happened to Trevor Siemian?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because he was supposed to be the guy that was going to take over. Like,
Oh my God!
that situation is just.
How do you not roster a quarterback?
They blew it.
Like we saw Tim Boyle last year.
So focused on
he
Aaron
didn't
Rodgers.
get better this year.
No, not at all.
You know,
Listen, this team, man, had a chance to make the playoffs, and you got Aaron Rodgers saying, I'm coming back in December. You don't have to anymore.
They should have went out and got Josh Dobbs.
I think so. How much is that? Is Aaron and Devontae stuff real versus we're trying to keep optimism for the fans? Because it was very interesting that they announced that Devontae, that they're going after him again, and then also that the Aaron Rodgers will be back. I think they said Christmas weekend.
Yeah, December 1st he wants to practice.
I think that was optimism for the fans.
Anyway, they stink. Poor Robert Saleh. By the way, Rams, Braylon, you called it. Last second, they beat the Seattle Seahawks 17.
I won that one too, didn't I?
Yeah, you got that one. That was one of your wins. Congrats. 17-16. Seattle should have won that game. Geno Smith went out with an injury. Otherwise, they win that game. Now, Seattle gets to play on Thanksgiving night against the 49ers.
They're going to lose. Seattle might be in trouble.
They might be.
But there's nobody to give them trouble. That's the problem. Like, if you look in the NFC, like, who's coming? Are the Packers at 4-6 coming?
Do they still have to play the Bears?
Are the who?
Seattle. Or did they play the Bears already? They ain't played the Bears already. That Bears team I saw yesterday can beat that Seattle team I saw yesterday.
Well, here you go. They've got the 49ers.
Loss.
Then they've got at Cowboys.
Loss.
Then they've got at 49ers.
Loss.
Then they've got Eagles.
Loss.
Wow.
Titans, Steelers, Cardinals.
Oh, they'll win the last 3.
2. They might go at 8 or 9 wins. But again, who else in the NFC is going to get 8 or 9 wins? Because
do you know Atlanta? If they win this weekend, I think they play Tampa.
They're 4-6.
At 4-6, they will have the lead in the NFC South with the win.
Pays to be in those South divisions.
Well, what about New Orleans?
Yeah, well, the Lions
5-5.
Lions are going to take care of them.
When?
In a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah,
but until then,
I'm just telling you what I read.
Oh.
I don't have
maybe you got to get better sources.
I don't have the stat in front of me. No, it was a solid source.
Okay,
solid.
Well, Atlanta's lost 3 in a row.
Yeah,
they play the Saints this week.
Desmond, there you go. That's why.
That's why.
That's
okay.
why.
Okay.
Desmond Ridder is starting, by the way, for the rest of the year. They really don't know what the hell they're doing.
Thank God.
And Denver last night, I thought it was a great game. Denver beat Minnesota 21-20. The Vikings got ripped off because 3 turnovers. One of them was a helmet-to-helmet hit. The Bronco launched himself at Josh Dobbs, which forced the fumble, which the Broncos wound up scoring with. Now the NFL's going back and saying, oh, we missed this one. We got to find this guy. It was one of the worst helmet-to-helmet hits. He launched himself at Josh Dobbs' helmet.
Incredible.
And they lose the game because of that, which is good for Lions, but bad for the Vikings.
I hate when the NFL tells us that they go after these referees.
Yeah, it's too late.
Don't even just do it, but don't tell us you went after them. Go do whatever you gotta do, but don't tell us because it does nothing for the team. I hate when Rex would come to the team meeting and was like, hey, that guy, hey, they sent it back, and you know what? They were wrong. Who cares? We lost. We got the L.
Hey guys, let me take a break and we'll come back and talk about tonight's Super Bowl rematch. But first,
not the Pistons and Nuggets.
Who?
I said not the Pistons and Nuggets.
They're playing. Okay.
Pistons are 2-12.
Let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. All you got to do is visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. If you can't make it in person, you can always order online. FairwayPacking.com. FairwayPacking.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. You could walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. How about that? All right, Bray, a rematch of the Super Bowl tonight. It is Monday Night Football. The Chiefs and the Eagles. How do you see this one playing out? Obviously, we're all Chiefs fans tonight.
Yeah, and I hate to disappoint for the Detroit Lions. I see the Eagles winning, but I see it being a hard-fought game, and I see it being very different than the game that was fought last year in the Super Bowl. I think the offenses are different. I think the running game isn't as strong as it was last year for the Eagles, relying heavily on A.J. Brown a lot, but they're grinding. I think it's the defense of that team that has really gotten them through to this 9-1 mark, or 8-1 mark, excuse me. And I think on the opposite side of the ball for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's the same thing. This isn't the Kansas City Chiefs with Tyreek Hill throw the ball down the field and a lot of big plays, or Patrick Mahomes doing the round and back spin moves like this is the NBA. This is more of a defensive-led team, and Patrick Mahomes makes the plays at the end of the game to win with Travis Kelce. So I think it's going to be a slugfest. I would say take the under. If I was a betting individual, I'd say take the under, but I'd take the Eagles with the points.
I hope they don't win, but I think Philly as an underdog. When do you ever get Philadelphia as an underdog? I know they're playing the Super Bowl champs who beat them, of course, last year, but that's last year's team. This Chiefs team isn't the same. I've been saying it all year. They don't really scare me. Their defense is probably playing better than their offense, like Braylon's been saying this whole season. I hope the Chiefs win, and I hope Kelce and Taylor Swift and all her parents and their parents
she's not going to
get together. They're not going to come tonight?
Just the parents.
Okay, yeah, so she's out there. I hope everything works out, and I hope Mahomes and Kelce have a huge night, because I need about 42 points combined for them for me to win my game.
Well, I hope you lose it then.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Very good.
What a guy.
Well, I mean, I want you to, no offense, but I'd like the, we want the Chiefs to win.
Yes.
Never mind. I hope you win.
Thanks, buddy.
Like crazy.
Appreciate you.
All right. Very good.
Can I bring up something that happened this weekend, man?
I don't see why not.
And Ryan, this weekend, Michigan got their 1,000th win. You say what you want to about blah, blah, blah. 1,000 wins, the first collegiate team to do so. So proud moment. But I saw this thing that was cool. If you got the tweet, throw it up there, Parker. They were listening. Oh, yeah, that's not the right one. But I love it, though. I'll talk about it. No, it's fine. You can play that. Basically, they listed like all the major victories. The first one, the 100th one, the 200th one. And
I got that tweet.
I know. And I was looking down. See, that's why I love you,
there
man.
It is.
So I'm looking down, and I looked at the date on that Wisconsin game. I said, I recognize the score in that game. Well, that was the game. Michigan won 13-10 late in the game. They win. David Terrell, our guy.
Oh, yeah, DT, baby.
Catches the pass. Actually, he jumped over Ron Bellamy to make the catch for a touchdown. But anyway, that's the game. Coach Carr came in the locker room after that win. It was a big win for them. And he offered me a scholarship. He said, hey.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I looked at it, and I still remember the moments when I met my roommate, Dave Underwood.
That's so cool, man.
He came in the locker room and said, hey, how would you like to come to the greatest institution in the world? I was like, hell yeah. And came to Michigan. So, man, it was a big moment. So, congrats to Michigan on 1,000 wins.
Congrats to you.
How would you?
Michigan, man. We're all Michigan. Like, we're all
Braylon, Edwards.
Yeah.
How would you?
How would you like to come to the greatest?
You guys know what 1,000 is in the Roman numerals?
What?
A lot.
M.
Get out of here.
Wow.
That's
Is that right?
M.
I'm still. You better be right.
I'm right.
Maz, I'm messing with you.
I'm right.
Because I'm about to post it.
Just like the Super Bowl is in Roman numerals,
All right.
1,000 in Roman numerals
M.
is represented by the letter M.
That's
It makes sense that we got there first.
I love it. All right, Bray, get us out of here, my friend.
Great show. Go Lions. Go Pistons. Going down to Detroit's LCA tonight. My man DJ Kool-Aid, you going to be down there?
I will be down there.
We'll be down there. So go Lions. I mean,
Let
go
me give you a
Pistons.
stat on the
Against
Pistons.
Nuggets. We'll get some Pistons some stuff in there. But Detroit Lions will get more of the week going into Thanksgiving. Remember, the game's on Thanksgiving, so not too many shows left before the big day. We'll talk more Blue and Ohio State. Might even get some guest co-hosts to come here and do some business. But for my man Kool-Aid, Maz, Parker, one more, man. One more. Ryan and Ermanni, brother from another mother.
Yeah.
We will see you guys. We are Woodward Sports and also Edwards and Ermanni.
You got it.